Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, with temperatures tonight falling as low as -9, campaigners are warning that 4 million households in Britain are still struggling to afford heating, causing illness, anxiety, and affecting their chances throughout life. And they say the problem of fuel poverty will last for decades to come. Tom Clark is in Cambridgeshire. Tom.
Well, John, it's chilly here in the village of Maney in the Cambridgeshire Fens. It's about -5 now. Earlier, we were out tinkering around with a thermal imaging camera that you can plug into your smartphone. And it just illustrated how in villages like this, in fact, villages anywhere, detached houses particularly lose a lot of heat out to the environment on a cold night like this. And it illustrates the point that energy efficiency campaigns have been making for years, that we just don't do well enough here in Britain at keeping our old, ageing housing stock as energy efficient as it should be. The successive governments have failed to do so. And earlier we spoke to a gentleman in this village who lived in an entirely uninsulated house just across the road from here, has now moved into a much warmer bungalow behind me, but one that he still struggles to pay the heating bills for every month. Tonight will be the coldest night of the year so far, and nights here on the Cambridgeshire Fens can be colder than most. Just ask William Evans, now 84. He lived for 17 years in an uninsulated house here in the village of Maney that he couldn't afford to heat.
It was literally a row of planks of wood and then a bit of cardboard.
And no insulation?
No insulation whatever. The winters were harsh. It was bitterly cold, bitterly damp. But as I approached 80, then problems set in. After 70, I went downhill first. And I was ended up carted off to the local hospitals every winter for about 3 years running.
He's been in a warmer home for 5 years now, but Mr. Evans, Chief Petty Officer Evans, used to live in palaces. He was valet and head of retinue to Lord Mountbatten, then worked with the Duke of Westminster and Arab princes. He retired on a small pension, and even now in his double-glazed bungalow, the bill for his oil-fired central heating is a major expense.
Even now I can't fill my oil tank. Never. I wouldn't be able to afford the £700 to fill the oil tank. Some of these old dears here now sit in their chairs wrapped in their pyjamas things, then they've got their 3 or 4 dressing gowns on, then they've got their duvet covers, and they don't go out the door once the winter comes. It is sad. Real poverty is there.
Today, a new report from charity National Energy Action finds 9 million people across the UK are living in fuel poverty, in cold, damp and sometimes mouldy conditions. The charity highlights the danger of respiratory illnesses, especially for children, whose education and mental health also suffers. At the extreme, there are 9,000 extra deaths each year because of cold homes.
Energy bills have increased over the years and the poorest are paying more. They haven't been able to take advantage of market offerings. The government has cut the grants that it's made available for making homes cheaper to heat, and also we've seen a growth in the number of private rented properties where some of the worst housing can be found.
Theresa May highlighted the issue in her first conference speech as PM. Yet in this month's autumn statement, no mention of money for home energy efficiency, the only long-term solution to fuel poverty.
We know, for example, that in other countries which have much colder winter temperatures, they still have much less of a problem with cold homes. So we think it's time to learn from those countries to bring the housing stock for all of us up to an appropriate level of fuel efficiency.
In a statement, the government told us it was
committed to tackling fuel poverty.
It accepts that
the best long-term solution is to improve the energy efficiency of households,
and its reforms will make energy companies
insulate 1 million homes by 2020.
William Evans saw out many colder winters than this without complaining. But campaigners say on current rates of progress, the government won't meet its fuel poverty targets within 80 years. They're making a fuss now to prevent a lifetime of cold homes to come. Tom Clark, Channel 4 News in Cambridgeshire.